Yo, here's the honest truth, man. We gotta raise the standard in ourselves. We gotta raise the expectations in ourselves. Gotta raise what we wanna do, the goals that we have in ourselves. You're waiting for someone to come by and hold your hand, waiting for somebody to come and tell you how to do it, waiting for the perfect opportunity. You're waiting and waiting and waiting, and yet that's prolonging the things that you actually should be doing. The goals that you already said that you have. You want to get to a 10, but your mindset is at 7. What you're capable of is 15, but you're shorting yourself to a 7. And then you don't even know that you can get to a 10, and then you know that you can get to a 15. There's different levels, right? You're trying to figure out what level do I need to be on. Right now you're on level 3, level 4, trying to figure out how to even make it to level 5. And then when you finally get to 5, you're like, okay, I'm more than halfway there, so now I can kind of relax. That's not the way it should be though. You need to set the standard for yourself and set a higher expectation of yourself. You're having terrible habits that's putting you in a position where you're okay with mediocre. How do you expect to be successful when you're okay with mediocre? Sitting there, contemplating what you want to do next. It's like whenever you try to go eat food, right? You're like, okay, well, what do I have a taste for? Okay, I might want chicken, I might want a burger, I might want tacos, but I don't really know what I want, so we're gonna take the next 30 minutes to figure out a place. That's how people are in life. They don't know if they want to be physically fit, they don't know if they want to be successful, they don't know how much money they're gonna make, they don't know what they want to do for a career, they don't know what they want to do, so they just sit there and be like, well, am I really that hungry? Am I gonna go get something, or am I just kind of gonna just wait until I figure it out? That's why down the road, you've put yourself in a position where you're okay with the basic. Eventually you come to a point where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to McDonald's. Eventually I'm just gonna go to Cane's. I'm gonna go get something to eat. Okay, I'll figure it out. But it took you a longer time period or a longer time frame to get to that point versus you already knowing what you want and knowing what you should have. You have to know what you deserve. If you don't deserve the McLaren, then why are you working the minimal hours? Why are you working the minimal shifts? Why are you not putting in the overtime in life to get the McLaren or to get the luxury lifestyle, the things that you want? You have a Toyota mindset wanting a McLaren. That doesn't make no sense. Saying that out loud makes no sense. But if you know this is what I'm working for, this is what the goals are, this is how I'm gonna elevate, this is what I'm striving for, then there's no other option for you to get to that point, period. You're allowing yourself to be okay with mediocre, simple. And how much longer are you really gonna put up with that? I made another video about this where I always think that people should be networking, people should be connecting, people should be talking to other people, because you never know who someone knows, you never know what someone knows, and you never know who needs to know you. I said that again. You never know who someone knows, you never know what someone knows, and you never know who needs to meet you. Again, because you're putting yourself in a predicament where you're not expanding, you're not pushing yourself to the limit, you're not putting yourself out there. You're okay with staying in the house, metaphorically. Staying in the house instead of going out and putting yourself in positions. You don't want the social anxiety, you don't want to get rejected, you don't want to see what it's going to be like to have a conversation, then know how to end it, and then what are you going to talk about, and how am I going to meet them, and you're thinking a lot about it. You're in your head a lot. The thing is, you got to just do it. You got to just do it, man. I mean, you have to put yourself in a predicament. I will sit here and set this camera up, go somewhere, and just be okay with the result. Whether I talk to 2 people or I talk to 10. That's just how the result is. But you never know who needs to meet you. It will come a time in your life when you're like, I need to set the standard and do different. When is that time gonna be? I'm just graduating and trying to figure life out. I think I want to go to college. I think I want to do entrepreneurship. I think I just want to work a job. Okay, well, where do you see yourself at 25? Okay, I'm 25. I'm working a job. I'm trying to travel. I'm trying to get my money up. I'm trying to do this and this. But I don't know. I want to start a family. I want to get in a relationship. Okay, well, where do you see yourself at 30? And start working towards those things. Think about the details. So the details is what matters. By the time I'm 30, I'm going to be driving this certain car. I'm going to be living this certain lifestyle. I'm going to be living in this certain house, this location. God willing, I have a wife and maybe kids. Okay, cool. Like, my health is like this. My family life is like this. My activity life is like this. The things that I've experienced are like this. The people I'm in connect with are like this. These are the things that you have to think about in the future, but you're stuck on the Toyota mindset, not the McLaren mindset, not the Benz mindset, not the Porsche mindset. You're stuck on the, you know what I'm saying? The low class, middle class, but that's not where you're supposed to be at. You want to level up. You want to get fit. You want to make money. So why not do them? Oh, it's too hard. It's going to take too much time. I don't really know what the right steps to take are. I don't really have the right connections. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing it right. It's not a perfect process. If I told you that you was going to sit here and do 100 curls and that was going to start maxing out on your arms to make them look bigger, would you believe me? If I'm a bodybuilder, yes, you would believe me because I already have the results. But if I'm a scrawny dude, I'm like, oh yeah, if you do that, then it's supposed to work. It doesn't look like it's working for you, so why would I start doing it? You have to put yourself around the right people to get you the results that you need. You need to get on the right plans in life to make sure you're on the right path for life. You can't say, I want to be doing these things and then doing the opposite of the planning. It's like saying, I want to get fit, but instead of me meal prepping and eating the proteins and eating the right carbs and doing the right things that I need to do, I'm just going to go out to eat and I'm just going to eat the worst things possible. All the fried things. I'm just going to eat burgers every day, every other week. I'm just going to eat a whole bunch of fried chicken, and I'm just going to eat a whole bunch of sweets every single day. Like, I'm going to sit back and eat chips while I binge watch shows and then drink a bunch of coffee, and you know what I'm saying? These are bad habits, but they are not on the plan that you want. So what are the habits that you need to change to be on the plan that you need to be on? And then how do you execute? Once again, you're stuck on being mediocre, and that's not where you're supposed to be at. This is it. Maybe for some of you, this is a sign from God that it's time for you to make a change. It's time for you to change the habits that you have. And we haven't even talked about females for real. How much time that they consume and how much energy they consume. That can be mentally draining. And it makes you tired from everything else that you're doing. Dealing with too many of them, dealing with one, but it's a headache. All it takes is one, really. And if this one is a headache, then it's going to affect everything else that you're feeling, because now you don't have the energy to sit there and be like, I need to work on this. Sit there and be like, I need to go to the gym. Sit there and sleep enough. Sit there and recover enough. You're okay doing mediocre things. Sometimes that can stem from a female. You got to be cautious of that too. That's a whole topic in itself. That's why it's important to pick the right woman though. You need someone that's going to encourage you, someone that's going to lift you up, someone that understands you, someone that knows how to communicate, someone that doesn't want to be your problem but wants to be your peace, someone that wants to actually elevate the man that she sees, the potential man that she sees in life. The reason that a woman will stay with you is because they see the potential of who you could be. So if they know you'll be a great father, they know that you'll be a millionaire, they know that you'll be a successful business partner, they know that you'll be something down the road, and they see that in you, they're going to try to push that. And they're trying to push the idea of what they see in you. Sometimes that can be good, sometimes that can be bad. They might try to make you someone that you actually aren't because they want you to be someone. Other times it's, I see that you have this ability in you. You need to see it, and so we're gonna work on elevating that. That's why having the right woman is very important. If you don't have the right woman, it's gonna create a lot of problems. I'm telling you right now. Finding a woman that wants to be your peace, not the problem, very important. If you have a woman in your life right now and you sit there and just analyze however long y'all been together, however long y'all been talking, is she really my peace? Is this really a person I can go to and talk to about life? Is this really a person I can go to and be able to finally confide in? Is this really a person I can go to in confidence? Is this really a person I can just be able to communicate with when times get tough, whenever we have something going on? I talk to OGs all the time, and I'll see married couples and I'll say, what's the biggest thing that you guys have learned being together for 10 years, 20 years, 50 years? Communication is always the same common answer. You gotta know how to communicate when something's wrong and not take it personal. You also gotta learn how to love the other person, not love the other person like you wanna be loved. You gotta be able to appreciate the other person when you don't want to appreciate it. You got to be able to say sorry when you don't want to say sorry. Right? I mean, these are relationship advice things, at this point. But having the right female can impact the plan that you have. Simple. That's why so many people end up falling. You get a woman pregnant and they're like, dang, this was not a part of the plan. Now you got to adjust. Now you got to set back. Now you gotta give time, right? Now you gotta give effort. Now you gotta give money. All these things that could have been prevented. And now you're sitting there trying to figure out, what do you need to do? What's the next step? Trying to make these tough decisions. It's important. You're important. So treat yourself like you're important. Drop the Toyota mindset and develop a Benz, McLaren, Porsche mindset. Because that's what you're worth.